Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the PMA LCS. We are coming to you live from the TSF versus CSS. That's Team Solo Feed versus Cass's Shoot Shop. I am one of your casters, Austin Sayado Weber.
I am Mike Opie Opich.
And I'm Nolan Jingo and Shane McCoy.
All right,
We're coming at you.
we're getting right into the picks bands here, so let's see what they got for us.
Maybe they don't have anything for us.
Oh, it's possible.
All right, so
Already off to a good start. We can't
I wonder
have...
if he just didn't know he was banding there.
You can't have an episode of the PMA LCS without something screwing up in Champ Select. This was predestined to happen. Right. Let's let them get resettled in here.
And so it looks like all of the rosters, for the most part, are pretty much staying the same, except for one. We've got a Digital Love 69 taking up the ADC role.
Yep.
There he goes.
So we're going to see Team Solo Feed with their entire roster all there against Cass's Shoe Shop with a substitute in one of their higher damaged roles. We'll see if they can get that team synergy going with someone who may not be as used to playing with them.
Now, see, the only thing I can say is, based on, the past few games and, especially this past week or two that we've had, this substitute came in, before the very last second. So hopefully they might have had a little bit more time than usual to kind of like strategize. But we've seen, especially like with Alistar Moody coming in literally at the last second. That worked out really well for them in that second game they had. So
and they're gonna need
we'll see how Digital Love works out.
They're against Team Solo Feed, which arguably has some of the best team coordination we've seen in the split thus far, coming out in a victory over, I think, all but one of their matchups.
I believe so.
Come on.
But yeah, because I think Team Solo Feed is currently in first place. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, they are.
And then
followed by Passive Aggressive Red Panda.
And we've got Cass's Shoe Shop is tied for fourth right now. So if they can come out with a win, a 2-0 win, that would definitely bump up Cass's Shoe Shop. That would be a great thing for them.
Oh, yeah.
Team Solo Feed would kind of stay still up there, but they're definitely looking to keep that lead over Passive Aggressive Red Pandas.
At this point, in order to make it to the playoffs, it's not only important to get those points, but to deny the 3 points to whoever is ahead of you.
So basically, you want to win.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much. That's what it comes down
2-0,
to.
man. 2-0.
So we already see some action in the pick bands over on Cass's Shoes Shop. They banned out Jinx, Kog'Maw, and Thresh. Jinx obviously aimed at Jirachi, or Rich Jirachi Maddies. It's his comfort pick. He loves his Jinx. Or they love
Definitely
Jinx so
a strong
much.
pick. You need to ban that from him.
And Kog'Maw, I believe that is a ban more towards...
I would think more towards C-Van.
It's against C-Van. He loves to play the AP Cog mid. He's very good at it.
And
then of course, you got Thresh banned away from Baba Booey.
Ignorant troll.
All very standard bans versus them so far.
And then on the side of TSF, we see a Zillion, a Janna, and a Darius ban. I guess Hoagie's going to be complaining that he didn't get his Janna this game either.
Not a problem.
Well, isn't she one of the few that's like 100% win rate? at this point still?
Oh yeah.
I do believe she is.
Partially because of really great games, and partially because she's been banned in every other game where someone was going to play her.
All right, and so we've got in the top lane, looks like we've got a Maokai locked in and a Mordekaiser. In the jungle, we got Sejuani and Warwick. Got the Ari mid lane and Brand mid lane as well for Cass's shoe shop. Got that Twitch ADC and what is now a Xayah pick.
Should have gone with the Urgot. Oh, yep. Come on. Give us that Urgot.
Dear God.
Keep up his 100% win rate.
Got the Nautilus, beefy support Nautilus there. And then Rakan. You got to imagine that, because I believe Rakan was picked first. I believe so. So I believe they probably took Xayah just to keep away the duo bot lane, just because they are super strong. You get that extra range on Xayah and extra damage. It's crazy, insane combos, man.
Regardless of the enemy bot lane, Rich, I believe, took Xayah because Jinx was banned. Xayah is one of their, probably their second best ADC that they are really comfortable with at this point in time. And then Baba Booey down on that tank support. This is a support that really, really performs when he's got a nice high CC tanky support.
He's all about playing hook champions.
Oh yeah.
I really don't think I've only seen him play Nautilus and Thresh.
I believe he's played Braum for a few games.
He might have, I just may have missed it.
Then again, I think every support in the PMA LCS has played Braum at least once. And then across from him, we got Hoagie on a AP support. Nice ranged caster. Similar to how Baba Booey plays his tanky hook champions. Hoagie really likes his AP caster champions.
Hoagie likes to sit and protect his ADC. He loves to perform in the middle of the team, giving shields, disengaging against enemy team, and just being that control support.
Then let's look at this matchup in the top lane for a second. We see Maokai versus Mordekaiser. Now, it's interesting. Mordekaiser's one that doesn't get pulled out all too often, but has been showing his face in this split so far. Both of them can get pretty tanky, but when it comes to who's going to put out more damage in the end game, we're going to have to look towards Mordekaiser.
Yeah, but my more concern is definitely with the early game, just because Maokai right now is such a strong champion, and his damage early is insanely off the charts. So you combine that with the Sejuani gank, Mordekaiser only having probably flash for escape. You blow that once, you go back top, and you can get yourself a kill, because there's just so much lockdown with the Maokai and Sejuani. So that's where I think they're going to be placing most of their pressure on, is that top lane, just to shut him down.
Not to mention, Mordekaiser's abilities inherently make him push in the earlier levels a lot harder unless Maokai is throwing his saplings as much as he can. So it's going to leave him really susceptible for a gank.
Mordekaiser's abilities, Maokai is a very strong early, little skirmish top laner, but Mordekaiser actually puts out a lot of damage with his W. It's not to be underestimated. He gets a heal off it, and I think it does percent damage to the enemy team.
And you can just cast it on a minion to get some cheeky damage in. That would be a bit more noticeable if they were playing something like Yasuo or Malzahar, who can get their spell shields popped by it, but also the speed boost it's going to have late game on that Warwick gives his ult a little extra range.
And then I just want to take a look at this bot lane. So we've got Xayah and Nautilus versus a Twitch and Rakan. Now, I'm definitely going to have to give a lot of... I think I'm just going to have to give it to the Xayah and Nautilus just because Nautilus is so tanky, so strong, especially with that shield. He has a lot of CC, so if Rakan wants to try and dive in early, all he has to do is auto-attack him, get that root, land a Q, and then Xayah can follow that up with her feather damage and the root as well. And I think they'll be able to blow them up before, the Twitch can get all of his damage in. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be a huge skill matchup to see who can land those.
Oh, definitely. And if we could see some surprise plays from CSS this game, if Twitch manages to get his damage on Xayah, especially when she's locked down for some reason, he would probably be able to wipe her out before Baba Booey or Jirachi could react. But that would take something like Hoagie flashing out of a bush and catching his ult on them, and Twitch coming out of stealth and rat-a-tatting them to oblivion.
All right, so just looking at the team comps overall, who do you got to give it to? What's your prediction?
Well, I'm going to have to go with Team Solo Feed. Not just for their current comp, which is full of 2 really high damage champions and 3 super good peeling tanks, but also because of their consistent play that we've seen over this split. And these are some champions that they really like to play. And we already have a pause.
All right, so my turn. I'm also going to have to give it to Team Solo Feed. They've got a really good blend for a team fighting comp. They've got the unkillable Maokai late game. They got Sejuani, and they have the Nautilus providing that front line. And then, like Sayado said, they've got 2 high damage champions in the mid lane and in the ADC role. However, also with that, they have a pretty good blend for a pick comp as well, with the Nautilus, and Ahri, Sejuani. I think they've got a really good balanced team comp.
All right, and that brings it back to me. I'm actually going to have to say TSF as well. Now, I will say under the condition, if CSS can get it rolling, they will have a super strong mid-game comp, just because Brand's damage is insane in team fights, and then if you can just get Twitch to be able to spray and pray over the whole team, with the Rakan ulting them, it's going to be a huge wombo combo for them, so I think they need to try and pull that off as soon as possible. Because if they do that and they get rolling, they'll be able to take things down. Twitch's damage ain't nothing to mess with. I mean, he can pump out some damage. Then you got also a Mordekaiser up there who's going to be pumping out damage too, so I think it all comes down to who gets rolling first.
So Sayado, I'm getting a message that you already saw.
Yeah, but like I was saying a second ago, these champions that Team Solo Feed is playing are all champions that they are very used to and have seen them play in multiple games before.
So we got a little cheese going on in top lane. Looks like it didn't quite work out, but
a well-coordinated team on comfort picks is definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, it is. So it looks like we got pretty standard jungle routes going on. They both started on the bot side of things. We see that the Xayah is actually pushing up, which I guess it's not surprising just because those feather daggers do hit all of the minion waves. Oh, we see the Twitch actually took the blue buff. So it looks like that Warwick doesn't have blue buff. And Rakan takes so much damage, gets forced out, has to flash away. And we see the first blood to the Xayah. Pulls back those feathers.
Already we see TSF doing what they like to do, which is get ahead early, keep that snowball going. But my question is, since we weren't, we didn't have the stream on the jungle, was Twitch getting the blue buff intentional, or did Clumsy Kokobo just not compensate for the poison from the leash?
Yeah, I don't think there's
It's
any
gotta
way
be
that
poison.
it would have been intentional that they would have done that. Oh, and we got a jungle chase down here. Looks like Sejuani stole the red buff. But we got Mordekaiser coming around. Oh, the stun from Brand and the flash for the kill. And then we burn Ari's flash as well on the chase.
Already we're seeing so many flashes being used in the first 4 minutes of the match.
There are only 3 flashes remaining. That's on the 2 top laners and then Xayah as well.
I'll be right under the nose.
We'll have to go back and take a look. I want to take a look at that blue buff. See what happened there.
Looks like Baba Booey is standing on a ward, but he's doing a little cheeky dance. He knows it's there. So regardless of Mordekaiser's inherent ability to push, he's not pushing as hard as he could be. Looks like Garfield Juice is throwing those saplings out, which is giving Mordekaiser the little safety net he needs to not push directly into the tower before Maokai's abilities can clear waves as effectively.
Yeah, and it looks like, as far as that blue buff went, he hit it down and it went to 3 health and then the poison just stole it away, so it definitely was not intentional there.
Rip.
Sad day, man. Sad day.
And already we see, thanks to that first early kill in the bot lane, Jirachi is up. Over
We're
10
seeing some
CS.
aggression top lane. He does have flash. Ooh, and he gets the health back, which is just going to be enough to save him from dying there in the top lane.
There is now 1 flash currently in play.
No, there's 2. There's 2.
Baba Booey's is back up.
We do. Oh,
Oh,
there's another pause.
There's a pause.
Yep. Welcome to another exciting edition of the PMA LCS.
Also known as the League of Pause.
And that's not because Warwick's in the game.
It's actually because we have Sejuani.
I mean, I guess Twitch is also a rat, so he's got pause.
Yeah. Pause, not clause. That's the important thing.
I mean, seems to be working out well for Xayah at the moment. All right, so while we're here, let's just take a look at our farm. So in the top lane, Maokai's only down about 5 farm, but you know that's not a huge deficit and by any means. And I think just because of that Sejuani invade, we're looking at Warwick being up just a little bit there. Mid lane's pretty even. Bot lane Xayah's just slightly ahead. But it looks like Twitch should be able to catch up with that.
Yeah, just a minute ago, Xayah was about 14 CS ahead, and it seems like that difference has been halved because of the back that TSF just made.
But for real, though, let's look at this support farm. Come on. Nautilus with 7 farm, Rakan with none.
Yeah.
This is disappointing. Come on, Rakan, step up your game.
Join the meta and buy a Relic Shield.
Alright, so we got the gank here mid lane. Ooh, and the damage put down on that Sejuani. She just melts.
You know, both junglers were using that pause to just get everybody ready for the collision that was about to happen in that mid lane.
Yeah, and there were no flashes available, so once that Sejuani got down low, Warwick lands the fear and she just has 0 chance of escaping.
We're gonna see CSS go for an early Earth Drake.
And they should be able to get that really easily. Ooh, and you got the Mordekaiser coming down as well to land the ult. Are they going to let him get to that in time?
If they don't, then
Oh, and he doesn't ult it.
he
Oh,
doesn't have ult.
ult yet. He's only level 5.
Nobody's level 6. We paid too much attention to what cool thing might happen to actually check the stats.
And now we got the Mordekaiser that's teleporting back top. That's
That-
interesting. Why would he go bot lane if he doesn't have the ult to steal Dragon? Oh, and we got Ari diving in on the Brand mid lane, and she's going to shut him down.
Maybe for some reason, Jimmy thought that something nearby would pop his level, because he's already level 6 now. Maybe he thought he'd be able to kill something in the jungle and get that level to get that dragon down there, but in the end, it was kind of just wasting time in the top lane. Though, he did let Maokai push in a bit, so there's that.
Ooh, and we see some good damage coming out. We get the flash out of the Xayah. A nice hook there from Nautilus to stop the Warwick engage, and it looks like they're going to get out.
Good amount of damage on
A counter engage in here. Xayah's trying to get the feathers on him. Looks like nothing more is going to happen there.
Jirachi burned both summoners during that fight, so if I'm Clumsy Chocobo, I'm looking to get repeat gank.
Yeah, and now we see the Twitch also has both summoners, so the next fight could get a little spicy.
What we did see though is not a lot actually happened to Jirachi because of those summoner spells. Baba Booey was taking the brunt of it, and both of his summoners are still up.
Looks like we're seeing pretty even trades going back and forth in the top lane. The only thing is we can see that, Maokai is going to run low on that mana, whereas Mordekaiser is just going to keep going. He's not going to stop just on cooldown. He's going to keep using those skills for him.
Difference in farm is still the same. It's 5 off, 4 off. Really not going to see... I'm not thinking we're going to see too much out of the top lane until the late game when both of those champions start to really blossom. But when we do, hold on to your butts.
We can see both of those mid laners have that blue buff, so I feel like that brand just needs to be putting on a lot more pressure on Ari. Make her use her skills.
Oh,
Make her
especially
use all.
since Sivan's blue buff just expired.
I think the damage Brand can do when he lands his skills is just so high. Oh, he lands the stun on him.
Flash burned.
Forced to flash away because he sees the Warwick nearby. Oh, and he pops the ult as well. We'll see if anything else can come of that. Warwick does have his ult available. And flash, so he can... Oh, there he goes! And he whiffs it.
So he
But
can
can he
go
get the
right
damage
under
off?
the tower. But
And they get him.
still managed to pull the kill
Looks like
out.
Warwick is still going to get out alive, too. And then we see in the bot lane, the Xayah push is just... They're abusing them so much.
Rich did use their ult a second ago just to kind of zone them back while they were taking the tower. So the Xayah ult is not currently available.
And just so much damage put onto them. Let's see if they can turn this around. Ooh, the Xayah damage! And she gets locked down and taken out. Stun there from the Brand, and that Nautilus is going to be going down. Goes over to the Brand.
Oh, that was a
DJ Mad Hatter now 3-1.
that was a most likely very good coordination on their part to come down after the Xayah ult has been burned. Rich not having flash up to save themselves. Really easy to get on that bird when she has none of her escape.
Nice rotation, so they should be able to get that first tower now when it looked like the Xayah and Nautilus were definitely going to pick up bot lane tower, but a nice rotation knowing that he didn't have his summoners available yet. Ooh, and we see Maokai going in. We got the rotating up from Ari and Sejuani. Looks like they're going to pick up this kill here. Who do they give it to? Looks like they give it over to Sivan. Just trying to keep him snowballing.
That's definitely the best person to give the kill to in this situation.
All right, so in that bot lane, it looks like there is a 40 CS lead already for Jirachi.
Goodness. And Twitch did not get a kill in that bot lane skirmish. They went to Brant.
So they're going to pick up that bot tower. Looks like they're trying to get a CSS is trying to get a rotate mid, and they're just going to head back bot to try and defend the second tower.
Cass's Shoe Shop is definitely going to have to be careful in the bot lane right now. Without a gank, they are probably going to get a lot of damage done straight to the face if they try to take on the enemy bot lane.
Yeah, and now we're seeing that the Warwick's trying to solo that Rift Herald. They're just going for objectives, which is what I think they need to do. Because you're going to have a Xayah that's just going to be pushing so hard all the time if you can get any sort of pressure back in other places. Because you know that Xayah is getting ahead, and you're not able to completely shut it down. So you may as well get your other lanes going, get those Rift Heralds, get the Dragons like they've done.
And then Cass's Shoe Shop walks away with another easy early objective.
I'm really looking forward to this next team fight that we're going to see around Dragon, because Team Solo Pete knows that they have to contest that Dragon, because if they don't, that Dragon's going to go over to Mordekaiser, because you know he's going to teleport in or he's going to walk down there.
Especially if they can get a Dragon and a Rift Herald in the same lane, pushing with double Mountain Drakes. It's going to be hard
With
to
the
stop.
Dragon, yeah, with the Dragon and the Rift Herald, they're going to do so much damage to it. It'll be only a matter of time before just multiple towers fall. Looks like everybody's backing off there, just playing a little bit safe.
We'll have to see how TSF pulls through this early mid game and get to the late game where they really start to shine.
Everybody's just kind of grouping mid lane to kind of see what happens. We've got a Warwick waiting in that top rush there. It is pinked.
Garfield Juice is now coming down. Oh, or is he going? He's just kind of wandering around in there. He does not have teleport, so if he does not decide to come down before the fight, he won't be able to get in it.
But definitely a Maokai gank, gank from the side there. With his ult coming across the whole lane, that can definitely wreak some havoc to Cass's Shoe Shop. Looks like everybody backed off a little bit, still playing it cool. Xayah goes back down to the bot lane to push it out. Top laners roam back up. And we do see that for Maokai, it looks like that teleport's just about to be up, so he should be fine to stay up there and split if needed.
We'll see what happens.
Something I would have liked to see earlier was Warwick put the Rift Herald either in
Good
mid
damage put out by the Maokai. He's going back in.
And there's the Mordekaiser.
And the Maokai is just taking no damage in those trades. Just heals it all back up with that passive.
We see the Rift Herald dropped in the bot lane. Pretty far back from the next tower, but they're going to see if they can get some of TSF to peel off and go stop
Trying
that
to get
Herald.
the pressure on the Dragon.
However,
Do we see a
Mordekaiser's
teleport
still-
in from the Maokai? Nope. And Warwick does pick up the Dragon. Now they just need to disengage. Ooh, the flash out, but Rakan still goes down. Can they turn this fight? No, Xayah's going to take out the Warwick as well. Too much damage coming out from the side of TSF.
Now, while they did
The only
get
consolation
their-
is they did get the Dragon.
They did get their second Mountain Drake, which is very good if they can get Mordekaiser down for the next Dragon.
They do have that Rift Herald that's still pushing on the tower, and they might get it. Just not enough. But it took down nearly the entire tower.
Yeah, it was almost an even trade there. Take a couple kills for a Dragon in a tower. If they can just get the gold for that tower, they'll be set.
Now see, if they would have had, either team would have had a teleport in there, It could have changed everything completely.
I believe if the Mordekaiser would have decided to come down and just get a hit on, then they would have had that Dragon Sprite in the middle of that fight, and it wouldn't have been as easy for TSF to put them on the run and turn it around.
It might have forced TSF to back off a little bit. But then again, you also have the Maokai that could have teleported in as well, which would have consequently forced off Cass's Shoe Shop, and they may have been able to pick up the dragon. But we're going back to, looks like everything's evening out a little bit. Everybody's going back to the top lane. We got the ADC going back bot lane.
Speaking of things evening out, that bot lane CS is not evening out. Look at that. We've already seen Jirachi with a 71 CS lead. And 3 kills to Twitch's 3 assists. Let's see if we can check out that gold. Yeah, we see Jirachi with about a 2,000 total gold lead over Twitch.
The ult from Sejuani goes out, misses.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, it was. Want me to tell it again?
Oh, we got the Warwick flanking on the side. But it looks like he's just going to get picked out there.
It looks like
the Rakan ult in the middle.
Brand is destroying
damage. And you still have the Twitch that is untouched on the side there. But here comes Maokai to clean up.
There's 2 things I want to point on there. At the beginning, we see Warwick try to escape with his ult, but thanks to the Sejuani slows, he is not able to leap far enough to get even over the wall. And then Brand there dying to that little root just tapping him made my day.
We have to notice that was a 3v3 and there was no Mordekaiser. It was a 4v5 fight. Now, yes, Maokai did come in late, but it was overall that was a 4v5 and it still went 3 for 3. So overall, team fights looking pretty good on the side of Cass's Shoe Shop. If they can keep getting Brain's damage on their whole team like that, things are looking good for Cass's Shoe Shop overall.
Cass's Shoe Shop definitely making up for the deficit in bot lane with their mid lane. Because if we look at the gold, it's pretty much dead even right now between the teams. 1 tower on each side and 8 kills to 9. They're pretty much even across the board. And it's just about 20 minutes in.
And we got that Twitch that picked up a couple kills there, and Brand picked up another kill. Things are looking good for them. I see Brand went for the Rod of Ages Rylai's build, so he's looking for be very team fighting, slow everybody down.
Definitely
most likely
scale well.
that everybody and Tillman to Leandries.
Oh yeah, definitely to scale well against these tanks in the late game. We'll have to.
And I will have to say in that fight, I got to give Rakan Hoagie a lot of credit because he locked all 4 of them down there for quite a while. He got like the 2 or 3 man knockup, and then his ult across the whole team just stopped them from doing damage, even just for the second or 2. Allowed the Brand to help clean up.
Yeah, we'll have to.
So big props to Hoagie on that. Uh-oh, looks like we're getting Brand caught out here.
Oh, the stun train is disgusting.
Whew.
We'll have to
Hook
see.
into Ari Charm into ultimate from Sejuani. There's no escaping that.
We'll have to see if Team Solo Feed believes Brand is a threat enough to start buying adaptive helms. With that nice little update they got, if the tanks start building that, Brand is going to have a lot harder time getting his damage over time.
Ooh, we got the Warwick going in. Rakan ult onto the whole team.
Oh, but it's just...
But just not enough damage. Ooh, unless we can get the Twitch cleaning up. Not quite. Not quite.
We had the Warwick on one person, the Rakan pulling the team, but as soon as TSF regained control, it was 3 tanks and a really far ahead ADC to just shred down the other 2 and almost completely take out Twitch.
Twitch, I will say, did so much damage in that fight, but it was just too late. It was at the end of the fight, and the rest of his team was dead. Mordekaiser wasn't there. Brand was still just coming back up, so
and he wasn't able to get enough of it on Jirachi fast enough to stop that damage from coming out.
I've got to give props to Jirachi on that, because as soon as Twitch was about to use his Contaminate on Jirachi and more than likely kill him, Jirachi ults, uses his Feather Storm, and negates the Contaminate.
Oh yeah, from what I've seen of Team Solo Feed and Rich specifically, one of their best qualities is kiting. Rich is a very experienced ADC and has gotten kiting and avoiding damage down to a point. That I think that we can all agree that Brand's kill there was a little too disgusting to commentate on. On a scale of
Just dead.
on a scale of 1 to Will Brooks, how tilted do you think DG Mad Hatter is with all these ganks just locking him down?
You know, I'm gonna have to give it a good 11 out of 10.
Oh,
Ooh, so we see that the Baron call is going down, but bot lane is pushing in. They're going for that inhib tower. Twitch, unfortunately, has been taking aggro, and Ahri damage is going nuts. You got the Morgans are coming on the side, but you just got Nautilus, who's just going to keep him off of the Baron, so they can't do anything with it. Looks like they're just going to rotate top lane for him. And he's just going to die.
very nice flash hook by Baba Booey.
Multiple flashes blown there. Mordekaiser flash, Maokai flash, Nautilus flash. All just for one, but they're just going to keep pushing up this top lane because they've got 4, they got the rotation going already.
There goes the Sejuani ult.
Oh, Brain gets hooked in. Oh! Warwick gets onto the Xayah there.
But Xayah does
Just not enough damage to
get
kill
out.
her. Oh, Twitch is here. They're going to start cleaning up this fight.
Ooh, C
Oh,
Van
but
round
Ari's
the
in the back
backside.
line. Ari's in the back.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and the fail flash from the Twitch. Ahri comes in from the back line to clean up that fight, and they're just going to keep pushing down this top lane.
A wonderful round the back triple.
Oh, the stun onto Ahri.
Oh, looks like,
They can try and turn this back around. There's no flashes available.
and now Mordekaiser is running rampant with Rich's Ghost.
You've got a Xayah Ghost. You can do a lot of work with that.
And there it goes. Just
Looks like they're just going to try and get that top lane tower with that. And you should be able to do that very easily.
oh yeah.
Oh, it looks like we got the Maokai teleport in there to try and stop that push.
But he's just gonna make
But
that
the Xayah
Ghost,
damage is so much.
just
he
gonna
takes
make
that tower
Ghost
down with
target
ease.
the tower. There's nothing he can do.
Maokai's going in. We got Sejuani just sitting off on the side. Maybe we got some split calls here.
But Xayah Ghost is continuously targeting him while he's trying to stop Mordekaiser, forcing him to back off. Oh,
Oh, we've got a disconnect here.
well,
That'd be why Sejuani was sitting there.
that explains a lot.
Split decisions, guys. Alright, so it looks like we're seeing at the moment Cass's Shoe Shop grouped up pretty well down the mid lane, so it looks like they're probably going to be able to push down this tower. What are we seeing so far here, boys?
I'm
What
looking
does
at the
each
build
team
path of
need
the
to do to
Mordekaiser.
close out this game?
I think that Cass's Shoe Shop, they need to find fights in the jungle. Find fights in confined areas where Twitch can let out his spray and pray and just hit everyone.
I think a big contributor to that last fight up top is the Sejuani ult being thrown out prematurely. If you notice, Sejuani threw the ult almost to the top tower to try and catch out Warwick, but it didn't do anything. That's a big ult for any team fight.
Yeah, Nolan, I gotta keep going on that. I do think that those jungle fights would be great for them, especially having a Brand and a Rakan, because if Rakan can all charm them all together, and then you have Brand's damage going over everybody, not just his ult, but his pyroclasm and everything, just over the whole team, the damage would be devastating, even though Team Solo Feed is a very beefy, tanky comp. Like, just getting brand damage and Twitch spray and pray over multiple members of the team should be able to just wipe a fight, theoretically. But it all comes down to, the engage and everything as well. Because TSF does have a lot of lockdown, so if they can get onto that Brand, as we've seen, Brand will just disintegrate.
Now, aside from the recent plays, let's take a look at the current standings. We've seen Team Solofeed start to pull ahead in the gold with about a 3K lead building up in the last 5 minutes, and they've got 3 kills over.
Just moving away from that, something that's been bugging me is Mordekaiser's build. Typically, you don't see the proto belt build on Mordekaiser. You typically see a Gunblade into a Rylai's or Trinity Force, but here he's opted to go for the proto belt into the Leandries. I'm hoping he builds the Rylai's, because once you have the ult on somebody with that Rylai's, it slows them. It constantly slows them, allowing your team to catch up to them. And if he's able to get that kill on that target, he is able to slow them when that ghost target attacks, which would just help their team pick up those kills that they need.
Well, it looks like with the proto belt, he's going for the opposite. Instead of slowing them down, trying to get himself on top of them or close enough to do something. I agree. That's not really something that you need to see on Mordekaiser.
Yeah, my only thoughts is he's trying to just be able to get towards the back line just to ult Jirachi, because if you can get any damage on him and just keep him, like, especially with a Rylai's, and just keep him slowed, other than Zaya's ult, she doesn't really have, like, escapes mechanics, and with the ult on her, she's still going to be burning down. She's not going to avoid that damage, so it's questionable, but it could theoretically work. I would just see that as more of a later game item if you're just not being able to get to the back line as easily. You know what I'm saying?
That overtime ult damage would definitely be nice, stacked with Brand's passive as well.
Now we were just speaking about Jirachi. Jirachi has picked up a QSS. I don't know when he got it. I haven't been paying too much attention to him because I've just been watching everything. But that might, of course.
I believe they got it on their last back, but I'm not certain.
But it's great. It's a great buy. They definitely need that against that team. Now the question is, does he?
Warwick ult is just necessary. Warwick or Rakan, both those ults can destroy a squishy in the late game.
Now the question is, does he pop it prematurely on one ult and just allow himself to get stunned by another ability?
From what I've seen of Rich, I think they're going to hold it till their ult is down. Rich's mechanics are strong enough on their own to avoid an ult if they're able to. But that's for time to tell if we ever get out of this pause.
Right. Rich likes to play super safe. And can't really fault him on that because he's an ADC. He's supposed to be pumping out the damage.
Now, see, one item for me that's being built is the Iceborne Gauntlets on the Sejuani. Now, I know that's it's always a good item for her, but personally, I would much rather see something different, just because. I mean, right now they're not putting. yeah, they're not putting out a whole lot of, AD, so you don't necessarily need that armor. And your team has a massive amount of CC as it is. If your team didn't have quite as much and you needed those extra slows, I would say that's a great item. But just seeing as Maokai has multiple forms of CC, Sejuani has multiple forms of CC, Ari's got her charm, Zaya's got a root, not necessarily as reliable, but she has a root, and then just Nautilus, every single skill he has minus his shield is a CC. So I mean, it's not like they're lacking that in any department. So I would think that item could be replaced for something else like a righteous glory, for instance. I think because that would especially give her more health. It's what she's needing. It would give them that extra engage, as her whole team that extra engage as well to stay on them.
I'm just
But
disappointed.
that's just personal opinion, obviously. So
I'm just disappointed we're not seeing a Blood Razors on hit Sejuani build.
we don't need to see that. Sejuani does enough damage.
This is fun. This gameplay is very intuitive. It casts itself.
Look at that minion that's about to hit the tower. Hasn't hit it yet, but he's going to.
You ever wonder what the minions are thinking? They're just sent out in waves to die. Just look into the soul of that little minion. Look in his eyes.
Dude, I'd want to be a caster minion. Just sit in the back line the whole time.
Poor cannon minion is about to have a really bad day.
Always gets targeted first, man.
That's racist.
The world is not fair.
It's a cruel, cruel rift.
All right, has anybody got any jokes?
Why didn't the toilet paper cross the road? He got stuck in a crack.
Why'd the fish get kicked out of school?
Why?
He was caught with seaweed.
I'm just going to say boo to all of these jokes.
Two snares and a cymbal fall off the cliff.
But
Ha, 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 ha. I can't remember any of my jokes now.
Okay, I got a music one.
Okay. Do you now?
Oh, I'm trying to remember the word. Right, it's been a while since I've heard it. Okay, what do you call someone who works in a coal shaft that gets flattened by rubble?
A flat minor.
A flat miner. And who is this?
I can
It's
explain.
Membung. And he's gone. And he's back.
What do you give a kid who lost his arms for Christmas?
Mittens.
Jump rope.
Cancer.
Why did little Timmy drop his ice cream?
Because he had no arms.
No, because he got hit by a bus.
Jesus.
Why did Sally fall off a swing?
She had no arms.
Because she got
Correct.
pushed.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Not Sally.
That's right. What's red and smells like blue paint? Crap.
Red paint.
Oh no, I did it right. Yeah, no. Yeah, I almost said red paint. That would have been bad. What is this pause, by the way? This is dumb. I mean, this is the highest quality League of Legends cast ever.
Hey, what's red and is bad for your teeth? A brick.
Oh, I was gonna say the newspaper. Because you read it. Okay.
No, that's a website.
What's orange and bad for your health?
A rotten orange.
Trump.
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make a political joke. He's not orange. I'm peach. I'm peach. Spell it out. I'm peach. Good. Look at the
So,
joke.
I have a long joke. Yeah, if I can remember it correctly.
All right.
Okay, so there's this symphony orchestra, and they're playing Beethoven's Ninth, and it's this first rehearsal, and the basses are sitting in the back, kind of like, this is boring. Let's go get something to drink. So they leave rehearsal and go get hammered and come back. They're way too late. They miss their entrance, and the conductor stops and yells at them. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" So next day, they're doing the rehearsal again, and the basses are like, "Okay, this is still boring. Let's go get drunk again, but let's try to be back on time this time." So they leave, get really drunk, come back. Once again, they completely miss their entrances. The conductor's furious because tomorrow's the night of the concert. And so after the rehearsal, they're sitting there talking. They're like, man, how are we going to go get drunk and get back in time? And one says, I have an idea. I'm going to take some string and tie the last 2 pages of the score together so that to get to the part we have to play, the conductor's going to have to take the time to untie the page. So they say, yeah, that's a great idea. So it comes the night of the concert. In the middle of the concert, the basses leave, go get really, really drunk, just hammered, and come back. They get back right as the conductor's starting to untie the score, and the audience is on the edge of their seats because it's the bottom of the night. The bottom of the night, the score is tied, and the bases are loaded. Who just sent me a league message?
Who just sent you a link message?
Will.
Is he
So-
who's the AFK?
I believe that's Bounty.
Yep.
Clicker pepper upper. Bad connection.
Yeah. Now, I believe that a rule was made early in the season that each team only gets 15 minutes of pause time.
Yes, unless the other team is okay with letting the team use their pause time.
Well,
Casser Shoe Shop did a lot, 5 minutes extra of their time, so they've got 5 minutes.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure Rich is talking. They like to talk about that kind of stuff. Okay, so I don't know. So like my dad, he goes out of town a lot for like conventions and stuff, and he was in Vegas one time. Just something to someone leave. No.
That looked Opie.
Oh my God! Everyone's just dying now.
He might be going back and forth between the teams, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yep, he's up with
Okay.
TSF right now.
So yeah, my dad, he goes to like meetings in like Vegas and stuff, and like one time, he was out and like it was his day off and everything, and he's just chilling in the front of the hotel, the lobby, and all of a sudden all these people like come in, they're yelling and screaming, and they're like, oh yeah, and he's like, what the hell, I'm trying to relax, they just won't stop, and they're just like cheering up and down. He goes to the front desk and he says, what seems to be the problem? Like, what is this going on? The receptionist says, oh, sir, they have a chess tournament in town and they just won first prize. It's an international event here we have every year. My dad's like, okay, whatever. And then the receptionist
All
said,
right, guys, real quick. Looks like we might have a 4v5 on our hands here
Oh, dear.
because they're running out of time and it's not looking good.
does anyone know Bounty's rank?
I
He
do not, but I
is
can look it up
silver
real
3,
quick.
I believe.
I was gonna say maybe if he gave me his account information, I could log on my account and just jump in. But
I don't know how that would apply to the rule book though mid-game.
well, yeah, the
But-
other team would have to
yeah.
okay it, and then 2, I'm not the same skill level jungle. It's the same position that I play, but it's not the same skill level. He's silver, I'm plat, so. But finding a sub would be.
Well, for the next game would probably be the thing, but I think they're going to have to go through a 4v5 because they are almost out of time here, and they gotta go because
So the
they've run over their allotted time, and Cass's Shoe Shop gave them 5 minutes extra
Yeah.
to hopefully see
Yeah, I got 2 minutes left.
if he is able to reconnect, but it's not looking good.
So my dad is really upset, and he goes to the receptionist, and they were like, "Oh, chess tournament, yep, everything." And he's like, "Well, what seems to be the problem, sir?" And my dad says, I can't stand chestnuts boasting in the open foyer."
Ha 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 ha.
I know that
I don't have
it
any
was
more jokes, but I have a good pickup line. So, you like dragons? I guess.
maybe.
Well, good, because I'm gonna be dragging my balls across your face.
Oh my god.
Hey, do you
I think
like pizza?
I'm gonna get a piece of that ass.
No, because I'm gonna be dragging my balls across your face.
That one doesn't work. I'm glad you said face again, like because if you would have said my pizza, we would have had to fight.
Okay, so one day,
Yeah, some people like a little salt on it.
one day Mozart's sitting there at his piano, just kind of plucking away, and Leonardo da Vinci walks up with a covered easel. He says, "I want you to look at something for me." He says, "Behold," pulls off the cover and said, "This is my greatest work. It's the Mona Lisa. I've been working on this for so long." And Mozart's looking at this painting like, "Wow, this is small, but this is great. Like, this is an amazing painting." And Da Vinci says, "Okay, I need to ask you something because I'm a bit self-conscious, and I need to know, do you like the Mona Lisa?" And Mozart says, "Yes." And Da Vinci says, "Good, because I'm going to be dragging my balls across your face."
Okay, so I love puns.
Exasperated sigh.
I really do. I love puns, and I love really bad dad jokes and everything. This is in the realm of nothing. Like that's just no. Please don't do it again.
That's what we call around here a shitpost.
Hey,
Oh.
Opie, this one's for you. What do you call a beautiful woman on a trombonist arm? A tattoo.
Oh, it looks like we are unpaused.
Going back into this, and it's going to be a 4v5
Oh,
down a Sejuani.
that is a big hit to any sort of team fighting they would want to do.
Well, so, you can get rid of anything I said about the whole Iceborne Gauntlet, because you know what? It just doesn't matter anymore.
Well, if we could possibly see them pull this around if they play their cards right, but it's going to require.
Ooh, we got a Warwick going in on the Zaya.
It's
And he
going
turns away, and they're just going to rotate bot lane.
to require TSF to make some very, very well coordinated split pushing plays. Because if we can get someone who can push up in that top lane while the rest of the team is distracted, there is the potential to completely split down to the Nexus. I've seen it before. I do it sometimes. Yeah. It's about the only play I know how to make.
Oh, it looks like he might have reconnected here.
I'm not sure what the point was for the pause, considering he's in base.
Oh, God. That Oracle end sound is just going off constantly.
And it's been unpaused, so we're going back into it. Alright, so now that that's over with... Oh! I can't tell if that was troll or not. Anybody
little
else
bit of
watch that blue
disrespect.
buff? Oh, that was funny. Throws his cue the wrong direction. Alright here, so we see the dragon's going to be coming up here just about a minute or so.
Yeah.
It's one of the few objectives on the map still.
TSF is definitely going to want to get this dragon because they do not want CSS getting their 4th dragon and opening up the potential
Ooh.
for some devastating Elder Dragon plays.
Looks like the Maokai cheese play was spotted out there. But there are just a bunch of saplings still in that bush, which, if you try and aggro them, they will do a lot of damage.
see both
Oh, they
teams
hits the
with-
Twitch.
Oh,
And the Twitch is down, and there goes the Maokai as well. What a hook from Baba Booey.
there we see
Taking out the
CSS's,
brand as well.
CSS's
No
three
chance.
primary damage dealers taken out right at the beginning. It was really good focus by TSF.
And what a charm from the Ari. Just sees the Twitch walk over there as he's going invisible and just predicts him, and what a snipe to start that fight, and then the entire team coming back with the lockup. Meanwhile, TSF is just going to push down mid lane and take that inhib with no challenge at all.
What a letdown for CSS. They were probably getting really pumped that they were going to have an easy sweep with the 4v5, and then this happens.
Well, with everybody up, it looks like we're going to see a fight at Dragon.
The Maokai is coming back. His ult should be back up by the time the fight starts. Yep, it looks like it will be back. It looks like almost all, except for the bot lane of TSF, ults will be up. And it looks like they're just going to run over Cass's shoe shop once again. Just too much damage coming down, especially from that Xayah and Ari.
We're seeing what...
But they do get a trade back. Ooh, and the brand damage, is it going to burn the Xayah down? No, she's going to survive.
We saw there
10 health.
what either could have been bad decision making or just tilted decisions being made, with CSS getting way too close in there just to try and maybe steal that dragon, opening up for TSF to pick them out and knock them down one by one.
Yeah, it looks like Hoagie might have gone in thinking that he had his ult available, because he jumped into all 5 of them. And if he had his ult available to keep them charmed up, that they might have been able to take that fight and actually win it pretty handedly. Because the Xayah and the Nautilus at the time did not have their ults available, but I think it was more wishful thinking and didn't realize that his ult wasn't up. And so as he jumped in, he just melted instantly. But they did trade back very nicely. It was only a 3v4, and Xayah almost died as well.
And both teams are locked and loaded and ready for the next objective.
It's like TSF is going to start up the Baron. Cass's shoe shop is reacting. It looks like they are a little behind on this, and we see the Rakan ult in. Can we see the turn? The spray probably coming through. Look at the damage from Brand and Twitch going over that whole team fight. That fight couldn't have gone better. Just cleaning up, and they can go and turn on that Baron. 4 for 1.
Now we did see it.
And they do have a Mordekaiser.
The Rakan
Ghost
ult was
as
just
well.
a little bit premature for the team to follow up on, but regardless, it did what it was supposed to do and got them in position for Twitch to just spray through the entire
The
enemy team.
Sejuani goes in and just dies. Can't get to the Baron in time. So overall, a 4v5 plus a Baron, and they stop the Nexus towers from going down. What a swing in the game.
We'll have to see how their next team fight goes, because I have a feeling TSF is not going to want to give up these towers to this Baron buff that easy. But at this stage of the game, it's getting to the point where it'll only take one good team fight to completely turn the tide of the match.
Oh, we see the Warwick engaging onto the Nautilus, and they're going to take the Nautilus down. That damage overall. And only the Warwick ult was burned there, so they do still have a lot of catch potential still.
And they also simultaneously took out a huge portion of TSF's team fight potential with Nautilus lockdowns.
Yeah, and a lot of the tank. Ooh, and Maokai has to burn the flash. Just stepping too close for comfort.
Just not watching the
Oh, it
roadmap.
looks like we got a flank engage here from the Ari.
Do you see
Oh,
Ari
and
all
Ari's
cards?
going to get caught by the Twitch and go down. Twitch is coming online now. The damage is real. Meanwhile, Zaya gets caught in the back line, and it's a clean ace. 4 for none. I can't even speak. Speechless here.
We
They
saw-
might be able to just push to end this game here. There's 30-second death timer still.
Yeah, we just see
And they do have that ghost. That's going to be game.
Cassiopeia. I mean, Cass's Shoes Shop managed to do what they needed to, which was split up TSF in that fight there, as well as the TSF coming around back straight onto a ward.
What a flip in the late game. Twitch finally came online and was able to do massive amounts of damage in those team fights with the brand coming over top. They just were able to peel enough for the Twitch. Wow. What a flip.
What a flip. But that's what happens when you get to the later game. If you get one good team fight, or in this case, it was one good team fight and then a pretty good push, it's just nothing you can do. Alright, guys, so let's talk MVP. Who do you all
Man.
think deserves it this game?
That's definitely going to be a difficult one for me. Just because it was so back and forth the whole game. But I will say there was a couple moments in there that looked very good for Hoagie, especially in those later team fights. He did get those big ults in those last few team fights, which is what they needed. He got them all balled up and they were all charmed there, which allowed just the brand and the Twitch to spray and pray, and he kept them alive. So honestly, I might have to give it to Hoagie there. Just because of those, especially because of those last few plays, man. He just kept them all taunted up and kept his AD carry alive.
That's exactly who I was going to give it to, and for those exact same reasons. Hoagie just did a fantastic job in the last team fights, mid-game on, and just charming everyone, and able to slipping out for quite a few of them as well.
Yeah. I'd also have to give it to Hoagie there in the late game. Early game, their lane may have been pretty far behind, but they managed to pull it out. And later on, even though the ults may not have been as perfectly timed as they could be, they did their job. They pulled out the enemy team straight into the massive area damage that Twitch and Brand together both have.
Yeah, and we can't let that take away from, the Twitch damage late game and the brand damage, of course, but like just the overall team fight, especially like the Baron fight was just completely turned because of the play of Hoagie there on that Rakan.
I think it was just a little bit early, but he was able to buy his team enough time to get Team Solo Feed off the Baron just long enough so his team could reach them, and then Twitch could just open up with his spray and pray.
Alright, we have a request to see the damage charts. Should we comply?
Meh, why not?
Let's see it. Oh, isn't that a beautiful little chart? We did see on the side of TSF exactly what we thought. Ari and Zaya putting out good, like super heavy amounts of damage, but both of them being beat by Brand. And on the other team, we see Twitch and Mordekaiser both putting out significantly under, but still very high damage for CSS. So overall, their team had much more damage being put out.
They also had big tanks to go against, so they had to constantly be putting out all that high damage in order to take out those super tanks like Maokai and Thirshwani and Nautilus. And that
Unfortunately,
late game, man, it's just all of the damage. Twitch did. I guarantee you that last half of the game is where Twitch did all of his damage, just because he got those spray and prays off on all 5 members.
unfortunately, Spectator doesn't show us the crowd control score or the damage mitigated stat, which are 2 stats I'd really like to see. It's a
We
shame.
can get that going later.
All right, so I guess we're gonna start getting prepped for game 2 then. All right, let's get swap the stream over to that, and we'll be back with you whenever we are ready to pick up with game 2. I hope you all like minimalism, because I'm gonna play a really crappy minimalist piece I wrote as a theory project. So
Gross.
enjoy, because you're definitely not going to. Anyway.